What's up guys, welcome back to Octane and Zip Ties, where today, as you can tell by the title, we're doing the tube front on the Laurel. We've been kind of doing a bunch of smaller stuff, getting the suspension more or less set up, and all the engine parts are back on, but now finally doing the big section, whole tube front, so that'll allow me to put, radiator back in place, get the intercooler mounted up, headlights, bumper, fenders, everything will be basically together and it'll be a whole car again. Right now, we had Jeff Cuddy came over to help me out do it. He brought a hydraulic bender and he's got a little bit more experience, so he can weld and stuff that I can't do. So came over to help. We're gonna get that done today, and we haven't exactly figured out a plan on what we're doing as far as where we're gonna run it, but once we figure that out, I'll go ahead and show you. So tube front's getting done. Huge step. Hopefully it won't be too much longer until Laurel's back on the road and coming back to your meets, all the local meets. I'll be going everywhere, hopefully. Go to SoFlo, go up to like GAT, all the shows. But yeah, I'll give you an update once we figure out the definite plan. All right, so still trying to figure it out. Get the pipe bender out, and he's cutting pipe over here right now. Trying to figure out how we're gonna run. Thinking about starting it here, about a 45 down to around the back of the headlight, and then another 45 back up to kind of level out and go into the inside of the bumper here. So it's going to be basically an S type of shape on each side from the strut towers down towards the bumper, and then one pipe that kind of matches the overall curve of the bumper, because it's not perfectly straight. But right now we're trying to figure out where exactly to start the second bend and where to start the first bend in relation, so it actually makes it down into the bumper in the correct spot. So right now figuring it out, got left a little extra to make sure, and it looks, does it clear the headlight? Just barely? Just barely. It's tight. So I might have to cut off like probably an inch or two, yeah. Or just an inch. Yeah, about an inch. So figured this bend out, got a bit of a S shape, kind of going down into there. We got that done, tack welded it right there to the side, and now we're working on this side. So that's the overall shape we have. Right now we're having a little bit of technical difficulties with the pipe bender, but working that out once we get everything started to get fully weld everything on. Quick update, Jeff had to leave because we kind of messed up the bender, so we only have what I showed you done as of right now. So probably next weekend or so he's gonna come back out and try to hopefully finish it then. So another week, not too bad, not in too much of a rush anymore, but we'll be back to it. Got a little bit done, and it is what it is.
1 minute 37 seconds later.
And welcome back. It is actually day number 2, about a week or 2 later, and we are hoping to finish the tube front today. So I know it's been a while before I put a video out. It's been about a month, but we'll have a video on that, and all the new moves and stuff here coming soon. But as you guys have seen, Charles and Mr. Jeff already started working on the tube S right here. I believe we are going to finish up the other side. All of this is going to be boxed in for structural rigidity and such, and I don't really know what else to plan, but we're going to finish up hopefully the tube front, and then the next move is to start the engine. First start. But Mr. Man was breaking studs, right?
No, there's one in there.
One singular stud, but that is the move. So I will bring you guys along. We'll get a little step by step. I don't know how much I'm going to be doing today, but I'll help out where I can help out. And other than that, it's another piece to the pie. So man is hyped to get the Laurel back ready. I'm hyped to get it back ready. I think it's like 1 year ago from today that you had the Laurel, right? A little bit over the year, and the man only drove it for like 4 months. And then decides to hit a poor female driving down the street. Nah, it was actually her fault, but either way, coming together soon. First start, and we will be out mobbing. LS videos coming ASAP, because this week we're gonna start cutting them up, and we'll get to it. another piece to the puzzle is done. So obviously you can see that we are going down and around. We are trying to mock it up so we can figure out the best like structural place, either from here to the frame or maybe from here to the frame, something to beef up not only the corner but also give it more structure. And then of course you can see that the intercooler and stuff is all, you know, being mocked up. So one step at a time. All of this stuff, oh, they cooled it down. It is hot, but it moves the entire car, so it's pretty structured. But we just want to make some extra bracing pieces and make sure that all the other piping and stuff that is going to be here, just like this stuff, all fits as it should. Oh, Mr. Jeff put in some work. These beautiful pieces. Like that. After that, this is not moving, but tacking that back up, just making sure it's all structural and get it back together. All right, well, the boys went behind to go look for some metal. We're kind of putting everything back together and figuring out how we're gonna mount the headlights, the intercooler, the radiator, and as well as adding in some extra pieces for the fenders. Rough estimate after standing here and talking about some stuff right now, I think we might run a piece from here up to here, allow it to have an extra mount, and then basically make a removable cross member that we could also make some brackets for the intercooler off of, as well as holding in the headlights and being a structural piece that can attach to the frame and the fenders to keep it all together. Right now the biggest issue is just going to be making sure that everything has good fitment and fits together, but super happy with the progress made. Kind of hiding the tube frame, it really just comes here all the way down and around, and as you guys saw, we've got the two structural added pieces to the stock frame, so that is not moving. We were jumping on it earlier and it's sturdy as can be. So now we're going to be talking about that. I don't know if we're going to make any moves today on it or if we are just going to wait for another day, but we shall see. So I'm gonna wait for them to come back and maybe we'll get a game plan going. And after a little while, everybody is tired. I fell asleep in the Laurel actually for a little bit, and Allison fell asleep in the Mini, so it's a common occurrence today. It was hot out, it was windy, but big progress on the Laurel. We are gonna end it today. We got some stuff to do later today, but it is officially tubed, so of course it is squared, brought all the way around like you guys saw, all the way underneath, and the structure points as well. This thing is not moving, but I think the plan is, I mean, maybe Charles will come over here and tell us, but we were talking about, like I mentioned before, coming from here to here and then all the way around, basically allowing us to have some brackets for the headlights, even the intercooler, we can make some L brackets, and then potentially for the radiator also make some brackets to be able to hold it. So it doesn't need to be anything like super structural as long as it holds everything in place, and we will go from there with the last bit trying to fit the fiberglass bumper. Currently using a couple zip ties on the side, which is really holding it up well, especially with the bar going right through the middle. So we shall see. We had a couple options of maybe making things from the bottom to clip on there, maybe cutting a slit in a pool noodle and sliding it over, and that'll at least, you know, kind of hold on to it more. Maybe make some brackets for the side, but want to tell the people what you want to do for bringing it around?
Yeah, so potentially just starting off with a piece of pipe probably here, connecting to another one that runs from the fender bolt, for the most part across all the way past the right into the headlight bracket, across all the way, kind of in between the radiator intercooler area.
Which means that we're also doing hood pins now.
Yeah, probably hood pins because it'll just be the hell of
A lot more easier.
Just rather than trying to route the stock pull cord for it.
And then trying to make the bracket, because then you'd have to have, it's too much.
Have to be perfectly aligned, and just hood pins probably make it easier and eliminate more stuff in this area. But fender bolt pretty much. Probably have a slight curve in it. Probably just end up doing some like notch cuts just to make it easier.
Sweet. And then what's the updates on the engine? Because now, if you guys are still watching toward the end of this video, sorry it wasn't too crazy, but guess what? It's another step, and actually big step in the progress of getting the Laurel back. And soon, hopefully first start and tune.
Yep, but first have to replace, might as well just do all of the studs. I had one break off earlier for the exhaust manifold, broke off all the way in the back, the final one, and this one right here is the very first one. So we were able to get this one out. That one, we couldn't pull it out just because it's in such a tight spot. But I'm going to be replacing all of the studs, just buy new ones. That's one new one in there already. So.
And you just made the drain line for the turbo?
This is the feed line. So I just made this and buy all the stuff to do it. It's actually pretty easy to make. You just kind of make sure you have a clean cut and then shove it in here and screw the top piece on, and pretty much it.
Sweet beans.
But yeah, all the drain lines made. This, the line for the power steering, because I have to relocate that because I don't want it sitting originally mounted about here. So really close to where the turbo is. Probably gonna try to move it about here, just give it away, keep it away from the heat. So extended that line, bent a little bit of a couple of the other lines a little bit out of the way so they weren't super close to the manifold, but everything's pretty much ready to bolt that on. And then I gotta fab the downpipe to make sure it reaches up to the turbo since it's top mount rather than the stock low mount.
And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's still the big.
I mean, we say pretty much it, but that's still kind of a lot to do. I mean, it's still got to tub it, still got to make sure that we can, you know, get everything bracketed and braced up. You know, put all the turbo stuff back together, but that'll only take like an hour or so. And then after that, I mean, plans to bring it down to Tampa and tune it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have RS enthalpy to it, which some people tell me no, some people say it's fine, but figure it out.
Yeah, a lot of decent supported mods, and he's not going for crazy power, so one step at a time. But we are finished up, and I'm gonna stop rambling, so make sure to subscribe if you are new and excited for the Laurel content. This has definitely got me and my motivation back up for the LS, so probably after this video drops, LS content is gonna drop. I gotta cut out my floor. I will explain all of that later and basically redo that, as well as tubbing and doing tube on mine. So I will see you guys on the next one. I appreciate the view, and if you like the video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. I will catch you guys on the next one. Later.